I really don't know how many times I've corrected this error. It's really common. I see it among my intermediate level writing students and even among some of the more advanced learners. Because it seems to confuse. So let's take a look at some genuine mistakes and correct them. There are other errors in these examples I will correct along the way, and I'll also point out any unnatural English without changing it if it is grammatically acceptable. So, first is because I was a traveller. Now, that was the whole sentence, but it's incomplete. The reason that sentence doesn't work in writing is because the word because is a conjunction. A conjunction joins two clauses. The clause starting with because provides a reason for another clause in the same sentence. A because B. In this example, the because does not connect two clauses. It is the first word in one clause, and as a result, it is an incomplete sentence. In fact, the because makes it incomplete by being there. You could remove it, and it would be a perfect sentence. I was a traveller. But if the writer wants to use because, which provides a smoother flow in the overall text, it needs another clause to make a sentence. Luckily, the writer here provided the other clause in the form of the previous sentence in his text. I hope to make them a forever memory. It's worth pointing out that forever memory is not a natural English phrase, but I think the meaning is clear and I quite like it, so I won't change it. So the writer originally wrote, I hope to make them a forever memory because I was a traveller. Here it is corrected, removing the period after memory, changing the capital B to a small b, and you can even add a comma after memory if you want. I hope to make them a forever memory because I was a traveller. What's interesting about the because conjunction is the two clauses it connects can be reversed. So, looking at the structure again, A because B can also be because BA. I hope to make them a forever memory because I was a traveller can also be because I was a traveller. I hope to make them a forever memory. Don't forget to change the punctuation, a capital B and a comma. Because I was a traveller, I hope to make them a forever memory. Here are some other examples of genuine errors. So let's take the first example. Now all of these come from intermediate and above level English language writing students. I'm a young man before starting work, so I hope that Japan abolishes the seniority system because the starting salary of the seniority system is low amount. Okay, so first of all, let's correct the things which are unnecessary or grammatically incorrect before we even look at because. And I would just take that. Is low. The starting salary of the seniority system is low. You could say the starting salary of the seniority system is a low amount because amount is a noun, it requires that article. Okay, I am a young man before starting work, so I hope that Japan abolishes the seniority system. Let's change that because, if it's what we talked about, because we don't need that. That's pretty common, put it in a comma after the because, but you shouldn't do that. You can put it there. So I hope that Japan abolishes the seniority system because the starting salary of the seniority system is low. Now, why did I move that comma? You may ask. It's because, as I explained, because the starting salary of the seniority system is low is a clause. Okay? It's the B clause. So it's one and it's joined together. Okay? So let's get rid of that and get another one. When they are 75 years old, they should return their driver's license because elderly people aged 75 and over are more likely to cause an accident alone. Well, I'm not entirely sure what the writer was trying to do with the alone. I don't think it's necessary. They can always come back to me and say that they really wanted to say something about the driver being by themselves, but we'll leave that without it. When they are 75 years old, they should return their driver's license. There's a problem there. They is a plural pronoun. There is a plural pronoun possessive. Drivers is a singular, but that's not the issue because that's describing the license. The license is a singular. That's a problem. We need those to be plural to connect with the they and the their. So, when they are 75 years old, they should return their driver's licenses. And then we can fix the because. Because, put a comma here. Because elderly people aged 75 years and over are more likely to cause an accident. Very sad. Let's get another example. Men over 20 years of age are obliged to perform military service because it is to resist for Europe and America. Now, there are a number of issues here. One is, I know this sentence came from an essay written by one of my students, is in fact about the past, because in this writer's country there is no military service. So they were actually talking about were obliged. But we'll leave it like this because although it's factually incorrect, it's grammatically correct. Normally I would have told them about the tense too. Men over 20 years of age are obliged to perform military service is to resist for Europe and America. Now that's quite difficult. What exactly did they mean? First, America. Do they mean the country, the United States of America? Or do they mean the whole continents? Or two continents? I leave it like that because I would need to clarify with the student exactly what they were referring to. Europe, I think, is much neater and it's clearer. But again, that could be more accurate. So we'll leave those. But is to resist for America. I would actually probably, if I was correcting this, I think it's more of a purpose. They join the military service in order to resist. And you don't resist for, by the way. You don't need that preposition. You resist something. Resist Europe. Resist America. Resist pressure. So in order to resist Europe and America, that would be better. But however, we're going to keep the because that's what our student wrote and that's what we're correcting today. So let's try. Men over 20 years of age are obliged to perform military service because I would actually fill in quite a bit here, because they need to protect us from, or they need to resist European and American aggression. I'm going to put because they need to protect the country against Europe and America. Let's put another comma there. We like commas. Men over 20 years of age are obliged to perform military service because they need to protect the country against Europe and America. Okay, that will do. I'm going to delete that and get another one. I think the best answer is to buy a house for my parents, because that would be filial piety. Now, a word on this filial piety phrase. It's not something I've ever used in my own life, and that maybe speaks of cultural differences between myself and my students. In fact, I never even really, don't think I'd ever heard the expression until my students started using it. But it is in the dictionary, and it is correct, so I will leave it. I think the best answer is to buy a house for my parents. This, therefore, is a very simple fix. And let's put that comma there again. I think the best answer is to buy a house for my parents, because that would be filial piety. Very nice student indeed. Earlier I discussed how A because B can be reversed. So, because B, A. And this is an example of that. Because we can't buy the delicious Japanese food at the supermarket of Okinawa, she ordered the chinmi on an online shop. Okay, there are a number of things to fix first. Because we can't buy the delicious food. The delicious Japanese food. Okay, that's a definite article, so it's very specific. But because we don't have the context of the rest of the text, I don't know if it's already been mentioned. If it has, the delicious Japanese food is correct. If it's not, if this is the first time, then it would be incorrect. But I'm going to leave it, and normally I would have to look at the rest of the text or consult with the student. But because we can't buy the delicious food at a supermarket of Okinawa would be one correction, but more natural, I would put at an supermarket. Right, and now we're on to that second clause, and this is where we join them. She ordered the chinmi on an online shop. Well, first, this is a style issue. This is a foreign word. Foreign, that is, to the English language. So I will put that in italics. She ordered the chinmi on an online shop. Meaning is understood. I don't have a problem there, and I wouldn't worry my student too much, but I would correct it and give it more natural. From an online shop. Okay. One final example. Now this was from one of my adult students as opposed to my college students. I bought, spelling mistake, unforgivable. You've always got a dictionary you can check before you submit your homework. Some students don't check dictionaries. I bought some items that are, you can also put a space there, that are good for the environment. Are good for the environment. We don't need two fours. I bought some items that are good for the environment. One clause is correct. Let's have a look at the because clause. Because I want to be a good human who is praised by his girlfriend. Now, I think this is quite funny, and I know the student was very aware that it was humorous. He's very self-aware, and he's a very funny guy. So he realised what he was doing. It was quite manipulative. So, let's fix the English. because I want to be a good human who's praised by his girlfriend. Well done. Okay, so that was the final example. So remember, A because B, or because BA. So I hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.